most accurate forecast with Alana Brophy. Weather rates certified 11 years in a row.
Woo, those images say so much.
Yeah, and we do not like that smoke around here, right, Alana?
No, that wasn't even our backyard, but this
Exactly.
is. Take a look at Ensign Peak. You can't see much. Our ABC4 camera showing those smoke-filled skies. Our northerly flow, so the wind direction change, ushering that smoke into the Beehive State. And I'm going to show you exactly how far south it goes. It extends all the way down to Washington County. Now in central, the West Desert, and southern Utah, it's lighter smoke, thicker from Cache Valley into the Salt Lake Valley as well as eastern Utah. Very noticeable, changed things up, and air quality is impacted. Now, as we take a step back, you're going to see misery loves company. We're not the only state dealing with it. Continental U.S. here, Idaho, Montana also tapping into that thick smoke. There is the smoke source. Those Canadian wildfires definitely pushing those conditions to the Beehive State, and they're impacting us in the way of air quality. Moderate standings right now for the Wasatch Front as well as on the eastern side of the state. So this time of year, we usually see ozone pop us into the moderate category. It's a chemical reaction we get with our sunshine, but this is actually due to particulate matter. It is elevated due to the wildfire smoke, and as a result, we have now compromised air quality in northern Utah. It's going to stay that way until the winds switch yet again. Hazy conditions expected tomorrow. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s, 82 now in Salt Lake, mid-70s in Vernal, West Desert, 80 in Moab, 84 in St. George, where some cloud cover has popped up as a storm that's kind of cycling through the Gunlock area and heading towards St. George has cooled things off. Numbers into the 70s as we head into tonight. Isolated chances for storms, really targeting south central, southern Utah, and the eastern side of the state. So we have this above average warmth, and it's really melted that snowpack quickly. 10.1 inches. That's what's left of our snow water equivalent. That's still plenty, and that's going to come down the mountain, but roughly melting about 2/3 of what we had, which is why those flood concerns remain top of mind. Not the only type of flooding, though, that we're keeping our eye on. Flash flooding potentials out there. Spotty activity on the storm tracker radar for southern Utah and over St. George towards Panguitch and near our parks. We've got to be careful because flash flood potential for the Mighty Five holds on and increases for the weekend in some spots. Thunderstorm potential for tomorrow backs off of the northern Wasatch Front and the West Desert, but the general threat is there for the rest of the state. Why? Why is it just this little sliver? Let me show you. We've got two systems at play here. Area of low pressure to the south with its counterclockwise flow funneling moisture into part of the state. We add daytime heating and boom, we get isolated storms. Now the high pressure to our west actually impacting a portion of the West Desert and northern Utah, and that brings drier air and drier conditions. So that's the reason some of us will see storms. Here's the timing on it. Okay, FUTURECAST taking us through what to expect near the Four Corners for tonight. Isolated activity down south. Quiet for the overnight, but by tomorrow afternoon, it's the southern half of Utah that gets popping yet again. Moab, Hanksville, Grand Staircase, over the mountains, which is where these storms develop, and then they roll into the adjacent valleys. The threat also sticks on for Sunday, where the moisture surges a little further north and central Utah gets in on the action. And then we start next week, and it is an active pattern. Now, I told you about that flash flood potential. It's probable for Grand Staircase and Lake Powell tomorrow, so it's increasing in those areas. If you are going to be recreating, take note the possibility for the rest of those hot spots, including Zion and Bryce Canyon. Know before you go and just don't go. 80s for tomorrow, 84 in Moab, upper 70s in the Basin, 77 in Cedar, and 90 in St. George. Again, isolated storms in southern Utah. Here's the St. George 7-day. We get 90s and the storms sticking around, an unsettled pattern, staying above average. Also the case for the Wasatch Front. Drier weekend due to that high pressure, but then by Monday, boy, things really start to change. Pattern shifts, and we get storms and showers setting up as we stay pretty warm. Glenn, Emily, over to you.
All right, Lana, thank you so much. Time now for the good sports with our Dana Green.
And Dana, back and forth thriller.
This was a fun one. You know, for the first time in 6 years, the youth softball team is back in the NCAA regionals, hosting a 4-team